By the time of the Swansea Bay Rally, round 5 of the scholarship, the fight for championship standings was really hotting up, which was more than could be said for the weather. Although a sunny day did greet the team at scrutineering, as we asked some of the teams what they were expecting from the event.
Our main objective is to win and finish, but to do that we've got to push hard, and you never know what's going to happen, so we have to win it.
He drives the way he can, I get the calls right, there's no reason why we can't.
Just for one day.
Rally's going to go really well. Going to be running on the super soft Yokohamas. It's not too hot, so hopefully it's all going to work well.
The Swansea Bay Rally is unusual in that it holds 3 events in one. So whilst the 1.9205s battle in the Clubman's event, the 1.4 and 1.6205 competitors battle for honours in their own rally.
No tricks. Just try and drive quicker than anyone else.
Well, I got to finish first. We'll see by dinner time how we're going pace-wise. Hopefully we'll be on it. And then the last few stages we'll know if we have to push or not, won't we?
You know how bad a week I've had. I just can't get any motivation together to talk to you on the camera.
Who's it for, man and motors?
The combination of all 3 Peugeot championships made this the most dominated event by any one-make championship in the world. In fact, some 97 Peugeot brand cars made up 40% of the overall rally entry, an outstanding achievement brought about through 35 years of supporting rallying in the UK by the Coventry-based manufacturer. As the rally got underway, no one could foresee that in mid-July they would be greeted by dense fog and driving rain in the Welsh mountains surrounding Swansea. First through the stage was championship leaders Simon Moore and Mark Mason. Moore is always fast out of the blocks and took the stage, but on this occasion by the smallest of margins from young Tom Curtis, who was just 2/100ths of a second behind. The unluckiest competitor of the championship has to be 21-year-old Chris Reed, whose hopes of challenging for the championship were cruelly robbed from him when he became involved in a minor road accident and was made to wait for police to attend, and in doing so ran out of road time between stage 2 and stage 3. 205 scholarship champion Matt Barker and Martin Jones had once again borrowed the Grasslands car of Martin Fender and were looking solid in 3rd. Disco divas Ben Calvert and John Marsh were enjoying the poor weather conditions and holding 4th. Evans and Retallick were pushing harder than ever before and were rewarded with 5th place on stage 1. Although driving well through stage 1, Luscombe and Joel's efforts were wasted as they broke a drive shaft on stage 2. Young Stephen Davis was looking for a result that would put him in the top 5 and was not far off in 7th. Mike and Dave Curtis have had miserable luck this year, and an intermittent electrical fault plagued them through the event. The senior section of the championship was a close-run thing, as the 2 main contenders Ian Tippett and Lee Burgess and Mark Turner and Richard Oliver were never split by more than 10 seconds on any stage. We caught up with them in service for a cup of tea and a chat.
A co-driver's point of view, great, getting on well, like the way the notes are coming. Condition-wise, very, very slippery, picked up a puncture, stage 2, which didn't add with the conditions, but was still here.
Rallying is a social sport, and Ian Tippett's wife provides event support for the York businessman.
We've got the fuel box, we've got the beers, we've got the sarnie.
Do you like beer?
Yeah.
As scholarship leaders set off for the second half of the rally, we caught up with Matt Barker and his teammates at West Midlands Motorsport.
I think I'm not taking enough risks, basically. I think there's definitely a dodgy time somewhere about on the first stage.
The action continued on the famous Walters Arena stage. This is a stage that World Championship rally drivers use, and we can see that taking the high-speed jumps at 90 miles per hour takes big commitment, especially when pushing to win as Curtis is here. caught up with the drivers with just one stage remaining, and a very close battle was brewing for the lead.
All out attack. Got to on the last 15 mile stage. 4 seconds in it, so kind of back off.
Give us a bit of...
Yes, exactly.
What, on what? Sex appeal. Anyway, on a positive note, we should be on for an alright result if we keep it where it is.
Positive start, really settled in well. Walters Arena went well, nice open tracks. The Yokohamas are working really well on the super softs today.
Get to the end, you don't know what's going to happen to everybody else. Put some harder tyres on the front, because they did start to go off at the end of that 10 miler there. The sun's out now, so we've got some harder tyres on the front, and we'll see what happens.
So with the rally's longest stage of 15 miles to go and only 1 second splitting the top two crews, we went on board with Tom Curtis and Mike Harries. Tom and Mike were really pushing hard, when in the distance they saw Mark Mason slowing them down. That could only mean one thing. Moore and Mason are out of the rally, handing the lead to Curtis and Harries. Unfazed by the concept of now leading, Curtis continues at a pace that should give them a comfortable win. However, just 2 miles further in the stage, they caught a slower car. Curtis can't get past, and the slower car won't pull over to allow the faster driver past. Time was being lost, and with 6 miles to go, Curtis and Harries had no option but to follow the yellow escort to the finish. The time loss was disastrous for the leading Peugeot crew, and co-driver Harries lost his cool as the escort just wouldn't move over. At the stage finish, words are exchanged, but the slower driver has no idea of the potential losses destructive behaviour has cost the hard-charging Welsh crew.
Pissed off.
As though there wasn't enough last stage dramas, third place Matt Barker had blown his engine and was out of the rally. That should have handed Ben Calvert second place, but Ben had also taken a tip into the scenery. So whilst the disappointed Curtis and Harries drove to the finish with no idea that they had in fact still maintained their win, it was a very happy 23-year-old who celebrated at the finish. The last stage dramas had left the final positions wide open, and the main beneficiary of the problems at the front would be the championship's youngest driver, 18-year-old Alex Evans, who along with his rally driving tutor Elliot Ritalik achieved their best result of the season with second place.
Yeah, excellent day, brilliant.
Another young driver whose luck had finally changed for the good by recording third place was Stefan Davis, who along with co-driver Craig Burgess was delighted to finally make it onto the podium and into the limelight.
Yeah, good. Really getting some confidence in the car now. It's nice to be able to drive it without the engine overheating and worrying about that, you know. So yeah, we had some great fun today. Pushed it a little bit in places, so it's good.
Yeah, see that?
Mike and Dave Curtis were amazed to even make it to the finish, with the car intermittently cutting out on every stage of the rally. The brothers were even more amazed to record 6th overall. The seniors class battle was once again won by Ian Tippett, but he had been closely pushed all the way by 5th place man Turner. Stephen Lusko and Andrew Joel were holding second in the championship after an amazingly consistent run of championship points. On this rally, Steve had broken a drive shaft, but nevertheless finished 7th. Calvert and Marsh had thought their crash on the final stage would have put them out of contention, but even with broken steering, the ever-joyful Calvert took 8th and the Spirit of the Rally award. The championship standings after Swansea Bay looked like this. Simon Moore and Mark Mason still dominated the points, but Tom Curtis was now in with a real shout of the championship, whilst constant performances from Luscombe and Evans kept them in the top flight of the leaderboard.
As an added bonus, the awards were given out to the competitors by ex-world champion co-driver Robert Reid. who had these words of encouragement for the 205 drivers.
Yeah, it's great when you see the 205 challenge in its various forms having continued for so long. I mean, now we're 14 or 15 years since Richard and I won the challenge, and obviously went on from there. And it seems to be an affordable way to have very competitive rallying on good events. I mean, we're on a national championship event, so you know, there's good quality stages, good quality organisation on the events, and giving the guys the opportunity to show what they can really do.
Midway through the season, Kevin Ferber asked his friend, ex-UK rally champion Mark Higgins, to set up a rally tuition and test day at the Higgins Family Rally School in Wales. 3 junior drivers took up the opportunity to have Mark sit beside them and offer advice, whilst ex-championship winner Matt Barker and 2004 championship leader Simon Moore came along to test a possible new suspension setup in 2005. Mark is ranked inside the world's top 10 drivers and has been instructing since he turned professional 15 years ago. His wealth of experience and friendly approach was an inspiration.
But that was a lot better come up the hill, that was the best one so far.
It is finding that happy balance between making the car work too much, and with Stefan, for example, we just talked about it there. If you're doing things all the time, you haven't got the time then to think about what's going on with the corner. On a racetrack, you've got a turn-in point, an apex and an exit point. But on a rally stage, you've got a line where all the cars have been. And so what you've got to do, it's more advantageous to be where the grip is and utilise that as much as possible. Generally, very happy with you all. I'm all in one piece at the start, which is always good. So that's bodes well for later. What we're going to do now is work around the 2-mile loop. We'll do a lap one way, turn around and do a lap the other way. Now it's a bit quicker and a bit more flowing, so it should actually help us get the car sort of a little bit loose going into the corner.
Righty-ho, so we'll just head around the stage. I'll call out the corners to you. Just drive, you know, nice and comfortably, and I'll just be watching what you're doing. So everything's happening from middle to exit, where I think we need to get the thing not so much sideways, but get more of the turning done initially, and then the car's balanced through the bend, so you're actually coming out of the corner a little bit straighter. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's proper, isn't it? It's not. It's a proper rally stage at the end of the day. It's not just going around an airfield somewhere. You've got to get your braking area done in a different angle, because you still want to be lifting off to then allow you to turn in. So it's not just a case of, oh, I've got to turn in later, because the problem is your speed's all wrong. So you've got to change everything on the way into it as well. We're only talking a little bit, but it just makes it a difference for your exit speed.
By the end of the day, each competitor had covered 45 miles in full rally trim, leaving each pupil brimming with confidence and optimistic about their future results. Mark commented that he was very impressed with the level of ability and believed that within this group of youngsters the scholarship has drivers capable of success at any level.